everybody. Welcome to Fifth Monday. I think that's what it is. Um, uh, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, yeah, looking pretty good. Oh, I'm so pretty. Look at me. Got my blue shirt on. Uh, man. So Tuesday was a great stream. I appreciate everybody who come and hung out with me. Uh, I had come back from the funeral and memorial service, and as I was telling people, I didn't have time to relax from decompressing from work. So Tuesday was a good stream. I thought the week would get better. It's been very much 5 Mondays at work. It's a 5 Monday work week. For those of you out there, I do apologize if you've had 5 Fridays. Here, let me move my shite over here. I think I've turned off my audio on my work computer because technically there's always fires to put out at work. So today I learned as today I learned Lady P has a song from Amok Time on her soundboard. Yeah, yeah. For those of you who are not Trekkie fans, thank you, Scott. I saw that on Discord, so don't apologize for 5 Fridays. I would love every day to be Friday, or at least 5 Friday feeling. Yeah, it's it's just one of those. It's just been one of those weeks, and I'm hoping I'd love every day to be Saturday. Wait a minute, what's the song? Every day's like Sunday, something like that. Anyway, um, I don't sing good. I don't do karaoke. But yeah, it's one of those things where, you can see things coming, and I think that's called retirement. Yeah, yeah, Lady P. Every day is Saturday. I think I remember watching Downton Abbey, and like the first or second season, and they brought in the Crawley boy, the guy, and he's regular Joe. He works a regular job, and he's talking to the family about, oh, I got to go to work on Monday, and they're like, well, what's that? The Dowager Countess is like, I don't understand what is a work week, and they're because they obviously being gentry, they did not prescribe to that. So let me see. Let me double check. Doink. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So just some light news. This came in late from a friend of mine who's understandably unhappy with this. Let me there. Oh. Okay. So there we go. So apparently there's a news article that has been put out, and actually, they sent me this a link to this that went out to Amazon employees today. Andy Jassy, of course, is the person who is running Amazon right now, and basically they're moving to a 3 day work. They want to go back to 3 days a week in the office, and they have examples and understandings. They're expecting to implement the change on 1 May. Naturally, some people are a bit upset about this. And I think really, like most things, it comes down to, what your team can do. I mean, the place that I work at, we've been geographically disparate for a long time, and um, my offices here in Seattle are such that I would go to them and would still be having meetings with people who are not in this time zone. So, um, I think what you're going to see, and what some of the people who work at places like Amazon and Apple and those is like, they're not going to see a lot of benefit from that if they're geographically disparate, and unless they're forcing people, like I think some of the Apple folks, you're going to have to move to Cupertino or wherever the hell Apple's headquarters is. um, you know, you, we're gonna see that. We're gonna start seeing more of a consolidation or something like that. So, I work with teams in my company all over the world. So, I just think of people that sold their expensive homes and moved to less expensive areas, and now they'll need to buy a home in the Bay Area again. Ooh, yeah, that's going to be rough, Lady P. Um, what they'll do is they'll probably buy in places like Sacramento. So, Lady P, you might actually see a bump in your property values out there near Tahoe and all those areas, because they'll drive 2 hours into work every day because every place going to the Bay Area is 2 hours. But um, yeah. Um, Fun times. I mean, I think first Apple mentioned this. They wanted to be in ass and seats 5 days a week. Microsoft mentioned something like that as well. It's a 5 to 11 hour drive during commute. Yeah, I did it every day for a year. Well, you people up in the Bay Area, you just have helicopters that like fly you to shit and stuff. You just got helicopters. It's fine. It's fine. It'd actually be probably quicker to like go to Sacramento Airport, take a commuter flight to the Bay Area, and then drive in or whatever. But yeah, so I think it's going to be. I'd imagine for Lady P, what you probably built a helicopter, right? You've got a heli. You could just get your helicopter's license and fly your own helicopter. Um, but yeah, this is probably going to end up being like, depending on your manager or something like that. It's like unless they're actually checking your, I don't know, I don't know if they have badges or what. I would assume they have some kind of badging system or whatever, but it's going to be up to your management to manage that. And it's if you're working geographically disparate areas, then you're not gonna have to worry about things. So, but yeah, this was the story that came out. I think this is probably not sitting well with some of the Amazonians, depending on how they feel about that and what their management is like. So, um, add Microsoft and Amazon, and now Apple, Microsoft, and now Amazon to the mix. And I'm probably sure that Google already had something. I just didn't see anything about that. So, all right. Well, work from office where the extroverts can succeed without getting any real work done. Yeah, Ring Z, I would be, you know what? I would actually be okay with being in the office more if I didn't have the god awful traffic. It seems like a lot of these companies, and the one I work for included, um, they pick the really awfulest places to work. Yeah, it's awful. I've already told my company if they want to go that way, just consider my resignation already submitted, and the announcement day is my last day. Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be some folks that are not going to like hearing about or reading this there. So um, so far we've been okay. I've asked my management because when I saw the Apples and the Googles mention or Apples and the Microsofts mention these things, I was like, "Are we planning on doing anything like this?" And he's like, there's nobody in the Seattle office that you work with on a regular basis. Even he's in LA, and a lot of my team is on the East Coast. So he's like, "Where would you move to?" And I was like, "That's true." So I think we'll the other thing I was thinking of is you've seen the market downturn, you've seen the layoffs and whatever. I wonder if companies are trying to tie the work from home to lost profits. Like, oh, we can't work as effectively together as we once did, and that's why we're hemorrhaging money and what have you. I'm wondering about the group dynamics involved with trying to say that. Yeah, now you bought a house in San Diego, you need to move back to Washington. I'm actually Lady P. Ironically enough, I'm closer to my boss when I moved to San Diego because he's in the LA area. I mean, I'm technically about a 2 hour drive from the Irvine offices where he works, but there's another office near LAX that we would go to. But um, I told him I was like, you and me, we meet in Orange County or San Clemente or those areas down Dana Point. Just but the last homely home between San Diego and L.A. and I was like, we'll have lunch. I don't mind coming up 45 minutes if you'll come down 45 minutes and we'll have us a nice lunch or something. Um, Lady P, the Californians never left me. I'll come down the 5 and up the 5 and the Dana points and yeah. Um, yeah, it's good times. But I definitely hear, I can definitely hear the wailing and gnashing coming from the Seattle area of people having read this and worried about what this means for them and their families, starting May 1st. Because I'm almost guaranteeing there's going to be some management. It's like, yeah, you moved away from Seattle. Now you're going to get to move back, and it's not going to be fun. Not going to be fun. I'm sure we will see more news stories about this, which is why they. I don't want to say why they announced it on a Friday, but I'm guessing that's why they announced it on a Friday, um, because they wanted to bury this. Yeah, one of our culture has been one of the most critical parts of our success in the first 27 years, and I expect the next 27 years. So yeah, there and I think they quoted, hey, small businesses and cafes and stuff in the area are suffering because there just aren't as many people in the area working. Which I can see that if you had a business that relied on the walking traffic of Amazonians, or Microsoftians in the Bellevue and Redmond areas. Um, yeah, those people got hurt when the pandemic happened, and they're hoping that people will come back into work and partake of their business and custom, and it makes sense. Are we going back to doing 10 to 12-hour days in the office? Even when I worked in an office, Rings Ed, I did not. I mean, my office hours, I would carpool in at Leviathan, with my co-worker. I think we would be into work around 8:15, 8:30, and then it would be like 3:30. I'd be hauling ass because the traffic getting home would be horrendous. So, um, you know, my management was all up in, making sure that we had that. So, I don't know what this is going to look like, but I can imagine there's going to be people starting to actually set better work-life balance because they liked it in the before times. So we'll see what happens. But I'm sure there'll be more stories about this as it's coming along. But yeah. So I was, let me see. Oh, I talked to my finance guy today and was learning about things like, mortgage recasting and tax loss. What was this? How to cut? No, it was, learning about, emerging markets. Yeah. Oh, delay. That was what it was. Delayed transfer property. That was kind of fun. Um, not any information security stuff whatsoever here, but, my we're selling this house, Casa de Break, and we're going to San Diego. Oh, wait, let me turn the preview off because I'm apparently overloading. Um, and my finance guy was trying to help me understand if it was better to pay off the mortgage in the San Diego house or keep the mortgage that we have down there after selling this place and just pocketing the money. I think he said it'd probably be better if we just pocketed the money and, kept the interest and what have you, and then paid down a little bit more on the mortgage. So good guy. Northwestern Mutual actually is doing us a fair shake, so it's kind of good. But, was it's funny because he's like, I did my thing where somebody's mentioning something and I'm like furiously Googling it, and he's like, oh yeah, it's called transfer property something. I was like, oh, is it delayed transfer property? And I was like, boop, popped it in chat, and he's like, yeah, that's it. And, OPM, other people's money, as long as you're comfortable. Yeah, that's true. And so I was like Googling shit furiously while he was, explaining some of these things. I was like, I'm listening to you. I was just trying to, would you like to know more kind of stuff. So we were, going through several, items there. And so, yeah, I was just learning about mortgage recasting, which is a thing apparently. All right. So, and I'm also looking at trying to create animations, for training purposes. The only bright spot for this week was the training department at my job is wanting to create some training for this program that I'm working on. And, we were talking about, being able, apparently, people talking in cameras like this to a teleprompter is boring as shit. So, so the training team that we have is like, oh yeah, we can create animations and turn those things around and whatever. So as a content creator or wannabe content creator, I was very interested to learn about those things, and I come to find out, our company also has accessibility things. So not only am I creating videos, or I will be creating videos, creating transcripts for those videos, but we also have to translate those videos into multiple languages. So it will be like, we create the transcript, I create the English version, we create the captioning for those videos, but then we have to translate those videos into, I think, what'd she say, about 15 different languages, right? And including ASL, which is I wouldn't say 15 languages and ASL. It's 15 languages including ASL. And so I was like, oh crap, because it's like we have specific deadlines and things that are happening, and it's like, okay, yeah, we probably should have started these videos like a couple months ago, because they've got other things they're doing. So it's like it's going to take time to get 15 languages, translating your items. And so it was Eddie.headliner.app. Why am I clicking on things? God's damn it. Um ah, this looks good. Maybe. Uh, Filter words. I'm assuming this is good. Uh, let's get rid of the sign up part and see what that's about, Lady P. Oh, it's just, what does it do, Lady P? Delete, backspace, filter words. I'm sure it's something terribly fun. Uh, will annotate your videos and separate speakers. Oh, okay, cool. Um, yeah, so one of the things is, one of the icons that I'm doing at work is, our logo is a donut. So when we mentioned to the training person our logo was a donut, she's creative. So a lot of what she was working on, she's like, oh, I'm seeing donuts, I'm seeing pastries, I'm seeing bakeries, and I was like, yes, I want to be a talking donut. She's like, you're going to be a talking donut. So I'm going to record something. It's not going to be in a teleprompter, but it's going to be like with a green screen or something, and they're going to turn me into a talking donut. So so some of my internal training is going to be me looking like a talking dog. I was like, I want to be an apple fritter. And she's like, I don't know if that'll fit. I was like, I want to be, I want to be a fucking apple fritter. And so we're we're going to be creating some training. But yeah, the accessibility stuff for training is kind of interesting, because I have, in the last few years, wanted to do things like transcription, but not everybody talks good English like me. I speak good English, real good, and I understand that there's other folks that would love to partake of our discussions and things, but I don't have the resources to build something for somebody who speaks Tagalog, or Hamoob, or Spanish or German or what have you, and people miss that. It's an accessibility thing. I don't sign. So it's interesting to see the process happening there, and I told her I was very excited to be working with her, because this is something where my worlds are colliding in this case. So I don't know what Masterpiece Fix is. Headline. Oh, I see. Why am I clicking on links? Connect millions of listeners to their. Ah, okay, okay, very cool. Add captions, GIFs, videos, images, and more. Export directly to YouTube and socials. Okay, cool. Click features, scroll down to transcribe. Yeah, I actually tried that with a couple of systems. The only problem was I uploaded the video, and then it was like, oh, I've got an hour-long podcast, and now I'm going to have to spend 3 hours re-listening to the podcast over and over to fix what it is that I did. And it was supposed to be good. It was Otter.ai, I think, was the one. But, you know, not Opter.ai. Oh my God. There we go. Yeah, I tried Otter back in the day, and I was not thrilled with it, because it would not separate Mr. Betcher's and Ms. Berlin's and mine audio necessarily. Probably didn't help, because we would talk over to each other sometimes. Otter may be better for me now, because it would, for these things, because it would be just one person. And actually, YouTube doesn't do too bad. on the captions. They're not perfect, but you know you can kind of get the point across. But it obviously is only in English or whatever language it is. But yeah, you know, I'll check out Eddie. I think the other thing was I had to pay for Otter, and I wasn't using it, so I wasn't getting any value from it. But yeah, I would love to add more accessibility. But I was looking at things like Beyond, which I think is the software that we're going to be using at work to do these, and I was trying to look for other options to Beyond. When I was going to start streaming, I was going to use like a cartoon avatar, kind of like how our friend Wimmery does, and creates one. But hers is art because it goes way beyond that. And I know Lady P's working on some avatar stuff as well. Avatar not being the cartoon or whatever, but you know, the Beyond stuff kind of looks like, you know, somebody's whose mouth is moving, and it just kind of, you know, it makes training better. So it you know, these are some of these are actually legitimate alternatives to Beyond, and other ones are just garbage. So oh yeah, Wimmery, yeah. Um, I thought she was still on Twitch, but I could be wrong. Maybe she's moved. Yeah, yeah. There's Wimmery. Yeah, she does some good stuff. Oh, she suggested us. That's awesome. Well, I suggest her too. Go check Wimmery out if y'all get a chance, or you know, on YouTube or VTube. Oh, VTubing. Ah, I see. Okay. I'm old, Lady P. I don't understand all the cool hip lingo sometimes. So, oh, she's actually checking me out. Oh, okay. She's checking me out on there right now. So, but yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started because those of you who are here are probably where's all the Golangs? He should be doing the Golangs. So I understand. W3 schools. My wife is actually down. My beloved Doctor Break. The Doctor Break is down in San Diego right now, enjoying 60-degree weather, and I believe she had a espresso martini in UTC right now. Um, and I'm stuck up here in 45-degree weather in Seattle. So it is what it is. Okay, so let me start up camera and Visual Studio Code. Okay. Yeah, Lady P, thanks. I appreciate you telling me that it's freaking nice and stuff down. That's great. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting away from winter. You know, I'd like to go a few years without snow. It actually snowed here earlier this week, which also added to my series of Mondays in this case. Yeah, I think next week it's supposed to get down to like the low 20s and get up to freezing. So good times. So all right. So I think I mentioned this on Discord, but the you know the reason that I'm doing this is because one, it gives me something to do and gives us something to discuss and go through and comment on and what have you. But the other thing is, you know, I'm 120 here. This oh yeah, that's true. It will get hot there. Yeah, I mean, it will get. You're in the inland valley, I think, the inland valley. So you know, it's gonna get warm for you there, Lady P. So I completely understand. You know, it's nice when it's 32 at night. So all right, where did we get to the last time? We finished up slices, I think. Oh, so we didn't do last week's go because I was flying to Missouri, but I did some research on slices and you know how we were talking about slices or arrays, and arrays are kind of slices. Um, everything that I have read or heard about regarding slices, there there was a Reddit post that I had, which I did have until I lost it, but the growing consensus is for you to not use. What in the hell is going on down here? Oh, okay, I got to update Go. All right, Go's at version 120.1, so go and download your Windows Go's and update those. Clever. All right, so I'm updating Go because there's a new version of Go, which none of you can see the UR the UI for the installation. Computing space requirements. Tick 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 tick. Thank you, Mr. PC Fix It. Appreciate that. Okay, so we'll close that. The growing consensus that I had read on, I think it was a Reddit post, was that even the creators of Go were like, don't use arrays, use slices. And I was like, okay, that makes sense because it's like it's like arrays and then slices are so much more flexible and better. So they're their biggest thing. Oh, okay, there it is. Next, yes, I would like to uninstall Go. That's interesting about Go, at least in the Windows version. They make you uninstall the old version and then install the new version. I think it has something to do with, um, I don't know. I actually don't know. Um, I'm assuming that it causes issues if you were to leave a half-assed version of Go installed. So they want you to start fresh. So, which, oh, okay. Still trying to install Go. And so, yeah, the growing consensus is use slices whenever possible. There may be some chances where you'd have to use an array, but for the most part, the slices are the best way to go. Mm-hmm. Finish up. Oh, gods. It's so slow. I only have 32 cores in this computer, so, I don't know what'll happen when I have Visual Studio running and it says that maybe I should shut that down. Validating install. All right, well we can continue on through while this is installing Go because we won't have to worry about any of these things. So Go operators. Operators are used to perform operations on variables and values. The plus operator adds two values together. Oh my god. Okay, so this one may go fast. Um, so we're doing arithmetic operation in this case. So plus, minus, slash, star. So all right. So we have plus. You have someone 100 plus 50, and it's going to. Here's the comment. 100 plus 50 is 150. Um, so it's taking variables. So you can call variables of output from other ones. Sum two plus sum two. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, still removing files. Good God. All right, so Go divides the operators into the following groups: arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, logical operators, and bitwise operators. So this is all those special characters on the screen, like where the alligator mouths are pointing and stuff. That's how I learned it in high school, college, elementary school, or primary school. For those of you not in the U.S., it's which way the alligator is wanting to eat the mouth or what have you. So what we see up here is variables. We're setting various variables to various values. Sum one is the value of 150. Elementary school was your college group. Ow, Lady P, I'm acutely aware. Oh God. Yeah. Well, I peaked in elementary school, so I'm just been on a downward slope for a while. I'm probably, if this was the baseline, fifth grade, I was, down here. So we're arithmetic operators. Of course, we're gonna go and talk about those. Of course, your good old, plus minus multiplication is the star, so it's not an X. Uh, and division is a forward slash, not a backslash. And when I say forward slash, I mean because it leans forward. Okay, had to make sure that my forward is not your back. So it's forward leaning, not a backslash. Modulus is it? Oh, modulus. Okay, returns the division remainder. Okay, I've seen that in other things as well. Sometimes it confuses me. So in this case, so the modulus would be like you're dividing 10 by 8. So if you're trying to divide 8 into 10, that doesn't go evenly. So x would be 10. The modulus of y is, or 10, x would be 10, y would be 8. So the modulus of that would be 2 because that's what's left over after you've tried to divide um, uh, 8 into 10. You get 2 left. So that bloodbound. I was told there was no math. Well, in this case, we're going to be fairly math heavy today. Good person there. Decrement and increment. I didn't. Okay. I didn't think that those would be arithmetic, but I guess it's like x plus 1 or x plus. Back in my day, I would actually use x plus 1 on, what was that I was using? Is it Perl? I think I used, yeah, and then it was like plus plus and minus minus was like the new hotness. So um, it makes more sense, I think, arithmetically to use plus plus and minus minus. Um, Not sure if it makes cleaner code, but I mean it's understood in that case. All right, let's look. Let's see what's going on. Oh, good. We are finally finished with our installation. Let me close VS Code and restart it. There we go. Oh, I know y'all don't care, but when I hacked my Tesla, I told y'all I put the CCS charger and stuff in. I managed to actually get the CCS charger for the EVgo to work last night on my Model 3. So I did that last night. I took my daughter to the Scottish Joint here up in Seattle. Got her some chicken McNuggets, and yeah, so worked out really well. All right, so one of these days, I'm going to learn these Jupyter Notebook things, and then I'll be like all powerful apparently. So, there we go. We'll call this. Oh, we should. Yeah, well, I will tell you that was the first time I almost hyperventilated, Mr. PC Fix It, when I was working on, a $60,000 vehicle and hoping I didn't brick it. So yes, it was very stressful for me. It hasn't burned down. Oh, well, Lady P, I just saw that announcement that there's a recall of about 360,000 vehicles because apparently the autopilot is buggy. Weird. So yeah, operators. That's what I want. Operators. So yes, apparently it's a bit buggy. There's issues with the full drive system. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, there's going to be some unhappy Tesla owners who want their autopilot. So I use mine sparingly. I think that there's lane keeping, smart cruise control. Uh, that's about all you need, I think, for me. And that's a little bit over. Doesn't equate, but once fixed a car door handle with a cigarette butt that was on the ground. Huh. That that's some real MacGyver shit right there, Mr. PC Fix It. I mean, that's straight up MacGyver stuff. I mean, that's commendable. I love that. Mine, I actually had to watch so many YouTube videos and then have sweaty palms while I'm futzing around with a 50 amp plug inside my car and stuff where I could have killed myself. So bully for you. I mean, that's awesome. Yes. Hey, Walt, what's up? Yeah, I hear now that you can pay like $190 a month, which would have made more sense if I'd have known that that was going to be a thing. I paid like 10,000 for the enhanced stuff with all the extra cameras and stuff. $190 a month versus 10,000. I mean, I would have had to have had my car for, I don't know, like 189 months or something. I don't know what the math is. I, I'm not worried about math. We're going to go talk about operators now. So operators.go. Ding. All right. So we're going to package main this bad boy. Import. Wait a minute. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, no. Okay. That's good. All right. Package main import FMT. Oh, and I do apologize for any folks from Scotland. I call McDonald's the Scottish joint. It's what my daughter grew up calling it. Um, so when we go to the Scottish joint, it's McDonald's. So I do apologize for that. But all right, so we're going to function main. Oh wait, FMT print. What I would love to know is why they have so many different print types there in Go. It's like you seem like you should do one or the other. So we're going to multiply 10 and 5 and print the result. So 10 and 5, obviously, um, this is fairly basic for even myself because I've been around long enough to know that we have 10 and 5, multiply it with the asterisk. Um, so in this case, that's what that is. So 10 and 5. We're going to go ahead and save that. Control S. Start linting the current package. Okay. Terminal. So we're going to go run. Oh, wait. CD operators. Go run operators.go. 50. There you go. 10 times 5 is 50. So yeah, we can do that. Arithmetic operators, we went to that one. Go exercises next. Assignment operators. Assignment operators are used to assign values to variables. So it's the equal sign, right? So some of this feels out of whack. Felt it at the time it opened the door panel, and the issue was a missing bushing of sorts. Saw the butt on the floor, tested it, and closed it back up, and it's worked ever since. That's nice. Some hard hitting dev commentary there. Okay. Still got $1,000 for a trade in. That's pretty awesome, Mr. PC Fix It. It's just one of those things where it's like sometimes you can, I need to be able to put something here, and it's like, this fits easily, that kind of thing. So, it's ingenuity, it's thinking outside the box. I think I've gotten out of habit of that sometimes, where it's like just easier to go to Amazon and buy whatever it is I need. Like when I built my teleprompter thing, it was like I was trying to figure out how to do it without spending a couple of $100, and several websites on how to do it for cheap, and I had all the stuff around here, and I actually built it, and it worked really well. And then I went ahead and picked one up because I figured I would be doing some stuff in the future, and it makes sense. So and I managed to get one for super cheap, like $50. So it getting the mirror, I think, was the biggest issue. All right, so assignment operators are used to assign values. The assignment operator is equals, so we know this one. This one, we've been doing this for a long time. So for those of you who have been following along, x equals 10. So the equals is that. So we fmt print ln x. Let me make sure my company is not falling apart without me. Everybody's been real quiet the last few minutes. I know it's Friday, but still okay. Good. All right. Yes, they can. All right. So, and then the addition assignment operator adds a value to a variable. That's interesting. So, yeah, I feel you. I watched your explanation of that. It was impressed. It is Friday. What? Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, the other reason it's been a bunch of Mondays is I had to take. What? Well, you better get your ass up here. She's got a little shaved belly. We had to take her in for an ultrasound this week. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Your breast smells like cat food. Yeah, it does. Smell like cat food. Yeah. Yeah. She's got IBD. So that's not a HIPAA violation because you're technically not a human. But we had to take her in to get an ultrasound done to find out that she's got some issues. So now I have to force feed a cat uphill every day. I know you're going to fight me every way you can, aren't you? See, you're on the screen right over there. Yeah. You want to say hello? All right. What? I love you too. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna continue on. You don't want to learn Go, do you? No. Okay. All right. Yeah, she's got IBD, which is actually good because the vet was calling us and telling us that we need to figure out what's wrong, and the first thing they mention is cancer and all this stuff, and I'm like, God damn. Which was the same thing that our daughter had when she was in the ICU. The first thing the doctors go to is the big C. It's like trying to set you up for the worst possible thing that could happen, and come to find out, thankfully, she's just got IBD, which is what our previous cat had. So we'll have to work through that. So it's the better option than having to find out that you know she's going to be limited in life. So all right, so the plus operator, the addition assignment operator, adds a value to a variable. So we have var x equals 10, which is what we had up here at the top. And then what we're trying to do is make x, we're just going to add 5 to it. That's interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And what should happen when we run this one is it's going to show us x a fifth. Oh wait. Okay, so I'm gonna format this one and make it a little different. It should print with a new line. So there we go. Print s. Print len 50 and 10. All right. So if you don't want to print a new line, then you do that. I don't know why they didn't ask us to do a new line on all of those, but it is what it is. All right. So if I do var, if I do this right, so my guess is that x is going to be equal to 15 when I plus equals it. And when I save it, so it's going to, I don't know if it's going to print the 10, and no, it's gonna do 10, but then it's gonna add 5. So the output of this should be 50 and 15 when we run this again, if my output is correct. Yep. Okay. So you see the 50 and the 15 here from the one above, and then the new version. So this just increments things 5. So instead of like when you're doing what x, the plus plus or the minus minus bit. So here's the assignment operators. So this would do. Oh, okay. So it shows you this x is x plus 3, x minus 3, x times 3, x divided by 3, x modulus is 3. The ampersand. I, interesting. Does it? They should be explaining what the ampersand is, because I don't remember seeing that one unless we're going to see this further down here. I bet we see these in the next ones, like comparison or logical. And okay. So I'll put the plus equals back in so that it formats properly. You know what? I want to see what that is. Ampersand. Oh, yes. All right. So what happens when I do that? 0. Okay. That makes sense, I guess. Doesn't, but it's probably on the next. It's probably on the next thing. So let me put the plus back in and save it. But these are all of the examples. So interesting. Wow, these. Wow. Okay. All right. Comparison operators. So yeah, the greater than and less than symbols, which are the. Hey, Walt. Thank you so much for using your Prime subscription. Oh, well, my bad. Subscription needs to move up. There we go. Move the subscriptions up to the top. There you go. Apologies. I did see your post there, Walt. Let me turn the volume down a little bit here. Don't know if you can hear the background there, but that's Chill Hop, folks. We get permission to use that from their website. All right, so we have. Thank you, Mr. PC Fix It. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, let's see the notifications. There we go. I need to move those up to the top here. I've been complacent about that. Thank you, Mr. PC Fix It. Appreciate the subscription. All right, so let me see. Comparison operators used to compare two values. Return value of comparison is either true or false. And in the following example, you use the greater than operator to find out if 5 is greater than 3. So it's a conditional statement. It's a Boolean, actually, because as we know, it's a plus or minus, right? So, yeah, man, I don't know how we're going to format these. RX. Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to go var x1 equals 5, because I don't want it to conflict with what's been going on up there. Because as we remember the previous time, once you've set a value in a variable or set a type in a variable, you can't fix it again. It's immutable inside this ghost string. So I can't, I can make x equal something else later on down the line, but it may confuse things. So I don't want to confuse anything. So when you're going through these yourself, just be cognizant of that if you try to put everything into one script. All right, so and then we do var, we'll do y1 equals 3. And then fmt, prin, ln, and then x greater than y. And that's what I've never, maybe logically it doesn't work. It doesn't, I don't think out loud on this, but I don't see greater than or less than being any different. If I put 5 and 3 here or 5 and 3 here, these, either one can be greater than, right? Is this greater than or is this less than? Um, yeah, Mr. PC Fix It. One of the first, when we were starting to do some of these, I was getting like "Hello World" one, and you see these error messages where it's here decal, duplicate decal or whatever. Go doesn't like it when you have multiple Go scripts inside the directory with a main in it already. So if you're gonna, which is why we started creating like super scripts here in the arrays section where I had all of the examples in various parts. They only want one main inside of one directory. One directory, one Go script, one main, which is why we had multiple issues here with these Go scripts having multiple mains. So, um, which is maybe it causes me more problems going on down the line, but so far I've not had any issues so far. You just got to make sure you know put your variables in proper. So it still works, so it should return 1 true because 5 is greater than 3. No kidding. Okay, let me drop that. Okay, that way it's a little easier to see. Okay, so Control S to save, and I should be able to run this now. The output should be true if I did this right. There it is. So we have 50, 15, and true. So the 50 part here, the 15 here, and the true part here. So those are the three. So she was mad at me, my mama kitty, earlier. Now she's cleaning herself over by the door because she's all ready for summer. The one of the things we were making jokes. It's like she's ready for Speedo weather because she's got her nice she got her Brazilian down there and she's hooking it up. So logical operators. Logical operators are used to determine the logic between variables or values. So and logical and returns true if both statements are true. So we can actually do these. We'll just move things down. So we'll go x2 greater than 5. And this is what you would see in conditional statements like if 5 is or if x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 12, then and then you're gonna see that in some regular scripting as well. I've seen that. Let me see, and x is greater than 10. So these are going to be conditional statements like, these two things have to be correct. Or it's a range of things. So if X shows up as, what if is X less than 5 and if X is less than 10. So any number between 6 to 9, actually it's if X is, so let me work through this for a second because this is bringing me back to damned elementary school and Mrs. Barnes. It's not less than or equal to. So it has to be less than 5. So, anything from negative infinity to 4, it works here. And anything, well, that one's an odd example, right? So anything less than 10. So turn that down a little bit. Yeah, that's so X is less than 5 and X is less than 10. So where is X2 defined? So apologies, Lady P. I was trying to create the conditional statement here inside my script to answer to it. So technically, it's just this. I was trying to figure out how we would denote if how would we make this true? It's any number from 0 to 4 because both statements have to be true. So it'd be X to 4. So if I had like the number 6, the number 6 is greater than 5 but less than 10. So in this case, these both have to be true for this to be to the only way this would be true is if the numbers was like negative infinity to 4. So in this case, like just to narrow it down, 0 to 4 would evaluate as true on these. What is this? Because you couldn't have 6, you couldn't have 5 because they would not both evaluate to true. So it'd have to be something from negative infinity to 4, I think, for that to work. So I'm spending too much time dwelling on this one here. So they don't have any actual examples here, which is kind of funny. Statement is always true as written. Now if you did Y is 5 and X is 10, that would be a real test. Well, okay, so they didn't give us a real test in this case. Well, I'm thinking of this in terms of bash scripting, right? So if you did a complicated piece of math and you wanted it to do something depending on that answer. So if the value of X comes out to be 6, this value is going to be false because it can't be both less than 5 and less than 10. Or if it's 11, it's going to be false on both of these conditionals because it's not less than 5 and it's not less than 10. So really if X evaluated to 4, then it would be correct because it's less than 5 and less than 10. So the numbers would have to be less than 10, right, Lady P? But I take your point. You would want to compare two different variables, not X and X. But I guess there might be a reason or a use case to compare a variable to look for a range, potentially. Maybe if you're doing a Splunk query or something where you're like, well, we want the value, like, what is that? The sevens, the value of sevens, PMP. Rule of 7, yeah. Control charts, right. So let's say you're running a script and you want X, right, Lady P, you might have a range or something here where you're like, well, it needs to be, between, X in this case, which has to be whatever value is on this screen here. And I don't know why I came to this, but this is what it reminded me of. The variance has to be, maybe you're at the Large Hadron Collider and you need to make sure that your proton values are between 10 to the negative 18 and 10 to the negative 25. And so if X is between, like what Lady P said, if it's between these two systems, yes, thank you, Walt. Yes, it is a poorly written example, Walt. You're absolutely correct. That's why I was having trouble grokking at myself. But There might be a reason for you to have that, but you're absolutely correct. If it's less than 5, it's going to be less than 10. Um, yeah. So logical or statement. So either or, right? So either or, one or the other. Um, it could be less than 5. This one's also crap. This one's also garbage. So yeah, let's find some real examples here. I don't like either one of those. So bitwise operators. So and sets each bit to 1 if both bits are 1. Sets each bit to 1 if both bits are 1. Okay. The or statement sets each bit to 1 if one of 2 bits is 1. So either or, right? XOR. Oh, that's like the evil twin. I remember that one because it reminds me of like the upside down goatee in the Mirror universe for Star Trek. That's like the evil or. So it sets each bit to 1 if only one of the 2 bits is 1. Exclusive or, right, right. Exclusive or. Lady P, you're right. In this case, so for or, it's like if X is 1 and Y is 2, then, it evaluates as true. Or if X could be 1 and Y could be 1 and it's still true. For this one is, X could be 1 and B could be 0. And because there's one value in this, it evaluates as a 1, then it's a true bit. But if it's a 2 and a 2, then it doesn't. If it's a 1 and a 1, it would still evaluate. So as long as one of these is set to, if either of these values is set to 1, then this is true in an XOR bit. Up here, it's like if either one of them is 1 or both is 1, then it will be an or. So 0 fill left shift. I've never heard of this before. Shift left by pushing zeros in from the right. Okay, I definitely want to try this one. So it sounds like there's a legitimate package here or script for that. So, all right, we have var. I'm going to use x2 on this one because I already have an x1 equals 9. FMT. Yeah, I've never used bitwise operations or XOR masking. I know XOR is like uh, it's very important in things like hashing and what have you. All right, so FMT print F X equals %B, new line, that's the \n, comma X2. I'm going to assume that X2 is the one we need there. And then FMT printf X. Oh, right, this should be X2 up here as well. So let me make sure that that's correct. I don't want to screw this up. So we're going to push some bits onto the pile or whatever is %B n x x2 2. Did I not close a? Why do I have an extra bit here? Why do I have an extra bunch of things up here on the end? Let's see. Close that. Close that. Okay, so I have no idea what that's going to look like when I run it. So just, fair statement. So there's a 9. We know that x2 is 9. X2 is %B, x2. Okay, so we're going to save this, and I'm just going to run this. I hope it means something. 100, 100. What? Okay, so see, I pooched it somewhere here. So let me see where. Why is x2 equal to 1001? That doesn't make any sense. What should the answer be? Oh, okay. No, I apparently did it right. So, let me double check it. Okay, everybody. Oh, well, nobody can see my output. That's killing me here with this shit. Okay, so Why is my screen just messed up? Okay, that's what happened. I went to a new screen. I apologize, y'all. Oh, it's a binary XB, right? Percent B is binary. So, okay, so that's what the output looks like. X is percent binary. So it converts 9 to a binary, so that makes sense. You get, um, yeah, 1, 0, 0. So 8 plus 1 is 9. So that's 9. So that makes sense. So, and then we're pushing 2 zeros onto it. So that converts 9 to, let me see, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So 32 plus 4 is 36. So we've changed the value from 9 to 36 if we converted it back to binary, or from binary to decimal numbers. I'm not sure why you would use that, to be honest. I'm sure somebody can tell us why, but yeah. I'm honestly I'm not sure why you would want to push zeros on. It's really weird. Um, yeah, Lady P, you're right. It's binary. Remember, yeah. Good catch there. Thank you so much for that. All right, so oh, we've finished with the operators. Well, maybe we should go back on the operators one. I want to maybe run another example. It's the same as multiplying. Creating odd or even numbers is a great example, one you'll find on programming tests. Is that programming tests for, like, companies will want you to take homework home and, learning on program tests? It's the same as multiplying. Programming jobs. Okay. Walt, how is it the same as it multiplying? Because it sounds like you're adding. If I wasn't pushing two onto a binary, it would be multiplying by, like, in this case, two zeros would be 100. So it'd be multiplying things by 100. Oh, it's the same as times 4 but faster. In binary, it would be um, multiplying in binary. Interesting. So you only do that in binary, Walt? I'm actually. So this is so zero fill left shift zero and signed right shift. So it's not even zero fill left shift, it's signed right shift. So you're actually, bits fall off. So I would make so okay, so I've got the screen up. So if I reverse this, I turn 4 into, like, 1. Let's go look. Right, right. But it sounds like I'll be dividing 9 by 100 or something. So I'm going to go ahead and save this and see what the output looks like for me. It says it's 10. It's not really the case, is it? Yeah, I guess it's imperfect though, right, Walt? Because if 9 is 1001 and we're just dropping 2 off, I mean, the binary is 2, right? So I mean, we are dividing by 4, but it's an imperfect integer division. Okay, so there's no period, or it'd be like 2. God, what is it? You'd have 1 left, so it'd be 4.4.5, something like that. Yeah. Another place I'd use it is in a bunch is operating on flags in embedded processors. Ooh, okay. That makes sense. Hmm, okay. So I've saved that. So so yeah, that works. We just dropped the 1, so now it's 2, right? Okay. Interesting stuff. It's not something I would have necessarily thought of. So, wonder if this is a shortcut you would see in a lot of Go stuff. I don't know. All right, let's back this mother up and move along. All right, so we're gonna go to conditional conditions. So true or false? Oh my God, yes. So this kind of comes back to the operators where we're doing, greater than and less than with the alligator hands and stuff. One more check before we go for the day. Good. Fucking time. All right. So let me just close that for the weekend. Sorry, y'all. I'm done for the weekend. All right. So conditional statements are used to perform different actions based on different conditions. So we've already done some of these with true or false, ones and zeros, Boolean operations. We've already talked about some of the and, ors, nots, the XORs, like everybody said. Unix. So Walt says Unix and C has lots of bit flags. Go inherited the operators. That makes sense. I mean, every scripting language has conditionals, right? And I agree with CPO. Any multiplication by a power of 2 can efficiently be done with shifting. Division is just inverse multiplication. Thank God y'all are here because I don't know what the hell I'd be doing. I'd be lost. Not all have bit operators. No, man. Can't they just all do the same thing the same way? I mean, wait. I'm sensing an XKCD comic there. I had to use that this week too. That's just how much fun we've been having at work. Conditions. Conditions. I can't even spell conditions right. What am I? Okay, there it is. All right. No, you rat bastard. All right. And then new file. All right. Conditions.go. All right. Go supports the usual comparison operators for mathematics. Less than or equal, greater than or equal to. If I remember correctly, one equal sign versus two equal signs is completely different, at least in some of the ones that I tried to learn in. And then not equal to, bang equals. Additionally, Go supports the usual logical operators, which we talked about previously, logical and or not, which is not as bang, right? So you can use these operators or their combinations to create conditions for different decisions. Example, x, y. So we have package main, import FMT, function main, x, the walrus symbol, remember? So we're not setting a variable. We're making Go decide that x is going to be something, and in this case, it's an integer, right? And then y is 5, and it's an integer as well. FMT prin ln x is greater than y. Okay, so will that evaluate correctly? X, little alligator mouth. Alligators want to eat the most, so X is greater than Y, so this should evaluate as true. All right, so CD, and then should be true, and it is true because true 10 is greater than 5. Now, if we switch it around, it will evaluate as false. Should evaluate as false. Yes, it did. All right, excellent. All right. All right, so this is not equal to. So in this case, we can also go, we're going to make this simple. We're going to do FMT prin ln x is, I don't know why it's doing that. It's kind of annoying. X is not equal to y, which should also evaluate as true because 10 and 5 obviously are not the same. So we just run that again. SMC 2791. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. And of course, it's true because x is not equal to y. The only way that would evaluate as true is if y was also 10 or x was also 5, or both of them match some value thereof. All right, so the other one is, what's this? Whoa, okay, so all right, so we're gonna FMT this bad boy again. FMT println, and it's gonna be we need to put another x. I don't know why that shit's popping up on there, but I'm gonna have to figure out how to turn that off. I don't know what happened there, but it keeps making that super happy fun time stuff show up. And then z, there's no z, so we're gonna have to set a z variable. Let's go back. Let's go see what the example is here. Okay, so z equals 2. All right, so it's if x is greater than y, which currently it is, and y is greater than z, and it is also true, that will also evaluate as true. So we hit that, and then go down here. True, true, true. But if either one of these is incorrect, it will evaluate as false, I believe. So, right, because they both have to be true or they're both false. Ah, it just did it for you. You kids today and your fancy code bangers. You want to get used to spacing between your operator. That's why I have import FMT, Lady P. It's it's the creator of, yeah, see? Okay, I hate when I don't like that it's doing that. So I have to figure out how to turn off. Let's see. I know that there's a way to turn off the fancy, bits where it's telling you for help or whatever. I'll have to figure that out later. So I'll just have to muddle through for now. So shrink that up a little bit. All right. Turn that off. Shut that one down and get rid of that. So and of course, so x equals y, and then or z. So I'm a little confused as to what the equals is doing here. The way I understood it was that equals is like if it's not the same character. I could be wrong on this. So equivalency, yeah, it's almost like it's not if x is equal to 10 or x equal to or y is equal to 5. It's like if x is equal to like x the character is equal to x the character, but I could be I could be thinking about that in the wrong way. Yeah, the tooltips is annoying as shit. Okay. One of these days. Pow. Zoom to the moon. All right. And then or Z. I'm thinking this one's going to evaluate as false. Thinking false. Mismatched types bool int. Ah, my bad. Okay, so there we go. That should work better now. So in this case, Z is going to be considered a Boolean because the walrus is going to make it true or false. It checks whether any two operands are equivalent in Boolean operations. Okay. So in this case, we have mismatched types int and bool. Need to fix line 13. Ah, okay. Well, I'll just comment that out. I could probably just comment that out. I'm hoping. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Let's see if that works. There we go. Yeah, so commenting it out just fixed it. Um, yeah, it's interesting how it takes the ones from above. So it obviously equated as false because x and y are not the same value. Oh, I see. Yeah, I get it. So instead of 10 and 5, it's like it doesn't matter what they are as long as they're the same values, right? What is that playing? Ah, okay. I heard that one before. All right, so it should be false, right? That's what they said. It's all going to evaluate as false. The only way it would be true is if I made, I think if I made 10 10, then it would evaluate as true because everything, or no, it would still evaluate as false. Okay, I'm confused. So, all right, let's go look up equivalency. Bastards. All right. Equivalency. Okay, I'm not seeing what I need here. So, so Mr. PC Fix It. They're so everybody's saying it's equivalency, but I'm still not exactly grokking the difference between equals and equals equals. So when I wrote it down here, it evaluated as true even though z was false. I changed the value and it comes up something else. It now ends up being so everything that was once false is now true, and everything that was true is now false. So it's kind of funny. Oh, okay. So we're setting x, we're assigning x to 10, we're assigning y to 5. The equivalencies thing says, are they equal values? So in this case, by setting y to 10, 10 equals 10, or z equals false. So we go back to right. So it's true or false, and it's always going to be false. So true or false is right, 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 right. I feel bad for Lady P and Walt because I can hear them screaming at me through the internets. So I do appreciate y'all's patience as I'm trying to grok this. So yeah, because 10 and 5 are not equal to one another in this case. In this case, I actually said it wrong earlier when I said, okay, so in this one right here, um, you know, 10 and y and x are greater than or less than one another. In this case, are they equal to one another? So is x and y, x is 10, x is assigned as 10, y is assigned as 5. So x and y are not equal to one another in this case. We can use equals equals. They're not the same value. Right. So in this case, so x and y are not equal to one another because they're different values. In this case, instead of assigning them. So did that answer your question, Mr. PC Fix It? Right, right, right. Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's a for me, it's a semantic thing. You know, and I think probably a lot of people see it this way. It's like x equals 10. Well, x is assigned as 10. X has a x and 10 are the exact same thing, but they don't have a value of that. So x and y are not the same value. Um, but yeah, it yeah, that makes sense now for me. Okay. All righty. So we're gonna continue on down through. Now we're gonna if statements. Yay! If statements. One of the major foot guns of C is using A equals 1 when you mean A is equivalent to 1. And I think if you have, yeah, the content of X, Lady P. Oh, good call out there, Lady P. The easier for me to, if I think the content of X. So if you treat X like a container that holds a value of 10 versus X equaling 10, you know, yeah. You're damned right there, Lady P. It is definitely painful. So now we're doing if statements. Awesome. This goes right back to all of the stuff I've hated with Bash and all those. I loved case statements whenever when they came about. I think the older versions of Bash that I was using when I first started out did not have case statements. You had to figure out how to use if, and the if statements were in startup scripts in Linux. So it had to be like if this file existed or if this executable existed, then run this during startups. So it was just easier for me to copy paste these things in. So use the if statement to specify a block of Go code to be executed if a condition is true, and that's the heart of it, right? If condition code to be executed, end. It is case sensitive, so it does have issues if you try to use, and I've never actually done that before. It's always been lowercase for me, but if you try to use uppercase or you know, God forbid your company tries to, you know, make you code in uppercase letters, Go will have some issues for you. In the example below, we test two values to find out if 20 is greater than 18. If the condition is true, we print some text. Now, oh yeah, let's go ahead and save this bad boy. And then we will create a new folder called, oh no, wait, actually we're still in the if statement, so that this is actually still cromulent. So function main, if 20 is greater than 18, which evaluates as true, then fmt printla 20 is greater than 18. And so when we run this, this will evaluate as true and print the sign. If so, that's how that should work. $20 is greater than 18. Now, if we flip it around and say we want the alligator mouth to eat the 18 because 18 is greater than 20, don't know what planet you live on, but that's not true. Nothing should print. Oh, it just evaluates as full. Oh no, it doesn't print anything, right? So I got confused. So we only had 3 lines instead of 4. Cancel, you rat bastard. So we only had 3 conditionals here instead of 4 like we had up here. So otherwise you could, we'll get down to the else's after this because it'll say, you know, if true, then print this, else print you're a dumbass and you don't know math or something like that. So that's okay. I don't know math. So we'll put that back to evaluate as true. You can also test variables. Pretty. If, oh no, we're gonna x2. Yeah, we can do x2. X2, walrus that bad boy up to 20. And then y2, walrus to 18 or 17, anything below 20 would work. If x2 is greater than y2, then FMT x is greater than y. So saving a little time here. Control C, Control V. So y2. All right. So that should work. Else, yeah, print. Yeah, not on this plan. Oh God. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, there we go. So what should, yeah, there we go. X2 is good. I'm thinking that that should have worked differently. Yeah, it should have said, okay. So that actually is correct, where it's telling you it's comparing the variable, not the value inside it. Well, it kind of, it is kind of taking the content inside and comparing it. Um, but you don't have to, you don't have to look at the number itself. You can look at the variable. I would imagine that's for more flexibility. So you don't have to say, and actually that's probably the more correct way to do it right here, instead of just saying if 20 is better than 18, because it's a static bit, right? So, it's not extensible. It doesn't build. You can't take, and add new values on the fly if you wanted to. So this is the better example to use instead of this thing up here, because you're constrained to 20 and 18, which doesn't make any sense. You might put like if if 20 is greater than y2's output. So if you're running something else, a bunch of math up here, and you come out with 18 somewhere at some point, and you want a threshold to be met where it's like, I only want you to run this if, we find out that, something bad up here, we don't want it to get up to level 20 because level 20 is uber bad. So if it's less than 20, then say, we're still good to go. No nuclear reactor blow up today. That kind of thing. But if you've hit 20 or you get greater than 20, that's bad. So yeah, I mean, there's other ways you can format this. Great, huge ways with that. You're comparing the current contents, right? Right. Yeah, I mean, the second equation, the second way of doing it is obviously more flexible, because that's how you would normally do it in a normal script. Comparing two static values doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a place for it, but I mean, I would imagine the greater the magnitudes greater majority of scripts and things you would see would use the second option versus the first. Of course, that's just me. What do I know? God. I have a doctorate in napology, so kiss my ass. Oh man, I missed that. Now I'm flashing back. Some of the plaque is dropping off of the synapses. I'm remembering nap time in kindergarten, when everybody would have their mats and we would lay out on the in the classroom, and take a little 30-minute nap and stuff. So I miss that, taking naps. So print hello world if x is greater than y. So what we want is, we would put if x is, we want if x is greater than y. So in this case, we'll if x is, there we go. If x is greater than y, print hello world. So in this case, that's what we want to put, just like what was put right here on this bit. Um, Damn it. Lady P got me. Oh my goodness. I still feel cheated. The university doesn't involve milk and naps, just Jaeger and unconsciousness. Right. Well, I probably would enjoy. I would probably would have gone to proper college if that had been the case. Um, I think it's Jaeger, unconsciousness, and why did I pick this major what do they call that? Remorse, buyer's remorse. I graduated college from with 18th century Russian literature degree. It's like talk about limiting your career options. So all right, the else statement. All right, we're progressing into programming languages, and that I is there any programming language that doesn't have an if then else kind of logic to it? Wait a minute. Let me do this right. There are no other languages that don't have if then else statements. I'm waiting for Cunningham's law to come up where somebody tells me actually. So, so else is Lady P says I was math, physics, double, then triple E. Jesus. Look, I just had a simple bachelor's in IT from University of Phoenix, so you know, so this is the this if else statement is print what you want, when the original condition doesn't work, right? In this case, so like I did right here, the if statement, if x, if there we go. So if this evaluates to true, then run this. Else, we would say else, and then continue the conditional. FMT prin nope. So in this case, yeah, we'll do that, and then it's going to say nope. Yep. See, it says nope. So it doesn't evaluate as true because y2 and x2 are not, y is 18, obviously, not greater than 2. And then so it's going to put anything else. I mean, you could do it the opposite direction. I guess you could say if it's false, then, it doesn't have to necessarily evaluate to true. You could say if y2 is not equal to that, then you could say, I think what's going to happen is y2 is greater than, yeah, see, so I mean, this evaluates as true because x2 is not equal to y2, so it's going to evaluate as true. If it was 20, then we're going to get nope. This is going to break your brain probably because it's going to say nope, but it actually does evaluate as true. You could evaluate a negative in one. I think that's probably the what do they call the flexibility of all of this. You could either evaluate a no answer, the fault. You could evaluate the false part here first, and then put the true if you're wanting to look for the only true statement. That's why we need else ifs. See the else ifs. That's why I liked the case statements more. Case. They were I liked them because they were easily formatable. Bash. They had a nicer format for me. It was like pattern 2. You just look for what you're looking for, and then the statements in this. So here's an yeah. So Italy, San Martin. So it doesn't it's not if then. So it's like case country in. So and then the countries are here. And so I guess Go doesn't do that, which seems like a law. And then ESAC is just case backwards, which idiot me. I was like, why is it ESAC? What's ESAC? And then I had to go look it up. It's like, it's backwards. You'll find switch. You call them switch. They call them switch statements. Okay, I'm not call. They don't call them case. I guess somewhere else. Oh, there you go. Duh. There you go, Lady P. All right, we'll get to those in the next few minutes. So case, right? Seems like yeah, I've always liked these because it seems like they were formatted easier and logically in my brain they work. Obviously, if statements have their place. Some people, I guess, like them in preference or in deference to the case stuff. If else, so I guess it always tries to evaluate the true and then we'll print the false statement. But you could make it not do that, or whatever format you could say. I mean, that would be an interesting attack if you changed the true and false status messages. So like if you said x2 is greater than y2 and you put it down here where it wouldn't evaluate properly, you could actually confuse people as to why it was doing that. Had to, so Mr. PC Fix It had to look this up. Smalltalk, which is considered a truly object-oriented language, has no if statement, and it has no for statement, no while statement. There are other examples like Haskell, but this is a good one. Oh, okay. If then, if, else if, and then blah is good for inline tests, where switch case is good for evaluating blocks of code. Okay. Okay. This almost feels like the array slice thing. It's like, if you're looking for functionality or you're looking for I don't know. I don't know if one is better than the other in certain performance cases. Maybe you would use if. I could definitely see this being, not read. It may not be. I don't know if it's not read friendly or not, but I mean, it seems to me case or switch statements were always like a little more logically set out. So I don't know. Because I mean, you could else if the hell out of things, right? Or case the hell out of things is more brain. You're right. I have seen some fairly complicated if statements. It's like nested if statements inside of if statements inside of if statements. It can get ugly. So, and that was on other programming languages, not Go. So, you can definitely get lost in those, or they get complicated enough where if you're not using something like Go's FMT, you'll miss one of these, and then it's like you're spending time trying to figure out where your branching and everything is set up logically. So, in this statement, temperature is 14. I'm assuming Celsius there, or it could be Fahrenheit. The temperature is 14, so the condition for if is false, so the code line inside the else statement is executed. So we got function main, temperature is 14, that's an integer because it's walrused. If temperature is greater than 15, which it's not, then that would be the false version. So you say it is warm out there, else it is cold out there. So that's why this is Celsius. So 15 is 59 degrees Fahrenheit, 14 is 57 degrees Fahrenheit. So they make very little delineation there. The brackets in the else statement should be like, so you need to make sure you have your brackets encompassing your else statement. Otherwise, you're going to run into some issues. I would imagine one of the biggest issues is people forget to put this one in. So that makes sense. I met somebody this week that, like my friend Dr. Cowan, he created the Stat Canary, and so I met somebody this week that talked about I invented AAA at our company, and I was like, wow, that's a bold claim, Cotton. It was interesting to hear that. I want to know who invented the if else, the logic formats for these. So else and the open should be muscle memory. Very, very, very correct, Lady P. Those are best practices that need to be done. And it sounds like the Go FMT squiggly. Yeah, the squigglies. You got to make sure your squigglies are in place. What is it? Parentheses, brackets, and braces. That was the order of operation I was trying to remember. And yeah, you'll run into that too, where you don't nest your brackets, braces, and parentheses correct. Okay, so we got if else. All right, so in this case, yeah, it's warm out there. Example, having the else brackets in a different line will raise an error. Huh, interesting. Ah, okay. Interesting. So you cannot have them on separate lines. Your curly's got to be on the same line with your else statement. What? So what? Wait a tick, Lady P. What's stupid? Is it having the error because they're not on the same line? Seems for me like readability that would make sense. Like you wanted to separate your if statement out and your else statement out. Oh. Wait, what can't you do in here? um does it not print something? One of It's the argument of cuddling. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Wait a minute. Can I so what you're saying is doing the curly braces outwardly is what is that? Interesting. It's the greatest argument in programming. I thought tabs and spaces was search cuddling brace. Okay. Old K and RC used. Ah, okay. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I'd imagine putting, stuff that then it was updated to use if. Okay. Yeah, all of these special characters inside the chat box makes Twitch twitchy. So, oh, this is pretty funny. Yeah, so that makes sense. So if you try to put anything on a separate line, I wonder if you could put like your if statement on a separate line. Would you get the same kind of error if you did something like that? I wonder. Oh nope, the linter. I don't know if linter is the correct term, but the thing that tells it to format things correctly doesn't like that when you hit the save button, so it'll automatically clean that up for you. Pretty printer, pretty printer. Um, okay, okay. And then the else if statement, which oh this can get complicated. All right, so if conditional one, code to be executed if condition one is true. Else if condition two, code to be executed if condition one is false and condition two is true. Lord. Okay, so let's scroll down here. A linter is a pre-compiler. A pretty printer changes the formatting of the source code. Okay, so there you go. I didn't want to call it a linter because I wasn't exactly sure, and I'm sure some Go developer out there would hook me up with the right answer pretty damned quickly. So, all right, so we got function main, time, walrus, 22, if time is greater than 10. So if it eats and then that evaluates as false. So FMT prinln good. Good God. All right, good. Just screw it. God damn. Good morning. Okay. And then I'm missing something here. Yeah. Okay. So the ln stuff, the if statements don't work so well in this. I know nothing about Golang. I don't know nothing about Golang either. Oh, there we go. There, I dorked that up real good. So, all right. Well, we'll just have to hope the programming gods look kindly upon me. Let's let this do its thing here. There we go. Now everything's all formatted pretty. Okay, so then we go down here. Else if, and then need our squiggly bit. Oh no, else if time 20, and then FMT prinln good day, and then okay, it's not perfect that pretty printer. else Prenlin. Good night. Good night. Or good evening. Good evening. All right, and so that should be correct. So the time is currently at 2200 hours. If the time is less than 10, say good morning. If the time is more than less than 20, say good day, and then else good evening. So if I formatted this correctly, everything should work, and it should say, in this case, good evening. Yes. Okay. which makes sense. So, alrighty, nested ifs. Oh my god, this is horrendous. So they say another example of else if A and B is less than A, is that A and B are equal. Okay, so that makes sense. You're setting conditionals there. You also will be doing that for variables as well. X is larger than 10, X is less than 10, X is larger than or equal to 10. Here's where you've got your less than or equal to's or greater than or equal to's. Oh, okay. See, I knew people would be like on that like white on rice when I was, researching things. Cunningham's law. That's my new favorite law. It's like the only way to get a correct answer is to put a blatantly wrong answer out. So or something like that. I don't mind it. I always assume things I say is sometimes wrong. So it's good to be corrected. I'm always like learning things. Um yeah, so in this case X is 30. If X is greater than or equal to 10, say X is larger than or equal to 10, which is the correct answer. It evaluates as true. If X is greater than 20, print X is larger than 10. Looks like it will. So X is 30, X is greater than or equal to 10. So right, only the code for condition one is executed. So it will answer on the first value. So if the first value is true and the third value is true, it will only show the first value. That could be problematic, I think. I doubt chicken could be said to have an if else either. I don't know chicken. Interesting. So many programming languages out there. It's almost like Linus's. Okay. What? Well, your stuff didn't show up. Nah. I know. We were supposed to have some pill pockets for you. I get to try to shove a pill down your throat. I don't want to. But, all right. So the nested ifs, this is like maximum nested or maximum ifs. So we're going to run into all kinds of fun logic flows here. So, let's see. If condition one, code to be executed if condition one is true. If condition two, code to be executed if both of the conditions are true. So this is like the and or not the XOR, almost like the XOR version. So both of these have to be true for the condition to launch off. The if statement is or, so you get either or. So if it's this, do this or this, or yeah, right. Num is more than 10. Num is also more than 15. Else, it's smart enough to. I guess you can go if as many times as you want ad infinitum here. So, what I would wonder is, well, no, I guess it would. I would say, well, what happens if you could make it, print this one as well as the other ones? But like it said, it will only print the true statements, and it'll print until it can't print no more. Though it's written itself in scheme, so we could say it does. You could probably shoehorn something in on chicken to make it run that kind of logic. So, all right, so we're gonna. I mean, these are just continually if statements. I mean, you could keep adding things. Like you could put if num is greater than 15, if num is greater than 16, number the 17. you'll keep getting if statements in nesting until you got to a point where it was not true, and then it would stop. Um, okay, so I want to stop because I think I've got a little low blood sugar. I didn't have lunch today because firefighting. I want to go through switch statements later on because let that digest a little bit. For punctuation. Oh, interesting. So we'll be back. I think we're gonna have a Sunday show. So Miss Berlin has accepted the Sunday show invite that I normally have for the BreakSec podcast. So we'll be doing a podcast here Sunday evening, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's got to be like, what is it? What's the time right now? Oh, you son of a bitch. So yeah, it'll be like 2 in the morning on Monday for those of you in the UTC time zone. I hope everyone had a good week. I make it sound like I had a really bad week, but I've had worse weeks to be sure. And I'm doing okay. Everything is going to be fine. It just goes with the territory, and it's one of those things. Scheme is pronounced really schema, schema. I've heard. So I've seen schema before, like schema, like SCEMA, schema, schema, schema. Come here. Anyway, that is an interesting way of saying things. It's like one of those ones where you put the emphasis on the wrong syllable, or like the commercial with Key and Peele, where he's like, Ron. But anyway, so good time. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you all to our supporters, all the people. SMC 2791 for following us. Mr. PC Fix It for subscribing. Nerd Fight, exactly. CPO Parker, of course, for resubscribing with Prime. Mr. PC Fix It for subscribing with Prime. Bad Screen looks like followed us 6 days ago. Packet Logistics 7 days ago. G Galt 79 8 days ago. So thank you all to the followers. Thank you all for coming and hanging out. Chill Hop. That's go check out Chill Hop. That's how Chill Hop Radio, Chill Hop Music. You can go check them out as well. They do good work. They gave us permission to use their stuff, so this is their live feed. But yeah, thank you. Oh, Lady P, what? Go check out our Discord as well. Lady P is one of our moderators on there. We have a good bunch of people on there, good discussions. Don't hesitate to ask questions in there. We also have a job board, so those of you who are fun employed right now, I hope if you're fun employed, you're actively looking for another job. As I was talking to my wife on this, your new job when you're unemployed is to find a new job. So you should always be looking. Don't take time off, because that 2 weeks can easily become 2 months, which can become much longer. If you need resume review, our Slack, and also you can prop your CV up into our Discord as well, and we'll give you some positive feedback, constructive feedback to help you out with that. We have a lot of job board listings for various positions. I tried to do a good job of moving some of the Slack stuff over to Discord, especially for jobs, because I know some people are definitely looking. So hope you have a great week. Be kind to one another. Take care of yourselves. We'll see y'all on Sunday night. It was supposed to be Lady P. It's always supposed to be constructive, not destructive. So, but yeah, take care of yourselves and be kind to one another. We'll talk to y'all soon. Good night, y'all.